Oh man, my equip squat is terrible right now. Just absolute dog shit. Okay, so today we have a bit of a bigger session. Recovery wasn't great over the weekend because I was doing some traveling. So Monday, which is usually my equipped squat, was a more chill session. Thankfully, and I think that was the right call. But that means today, equipped squat and equipped bench have lined up together for the first time, which is not something I want to do regularly, but here we are. So today we're going to be using the regular stance squat suit. This is different than the wide stance squat suit that I've been using in a couple of ways. Number one, the legs are a little longer. They're oriented for a squatter who squats more narrow versus with a wide stance, and that's one of the things I've changed since the last time I was in equipment, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever. So I'm hoping that helps me get a little more out of the suit. However, the downside is that this hasn't been altered at all. The other suit, despite being the quote unquote wrong stance, has the hips taken in. It now has the straps taken in. This is just stock. So we'll see how it goes. I might not be getting very heavy today. I don't have enough time to sew it before my session, but if it feels even a little bit better in some ways, then I can just tailor it, bring it in. And if you're lucky, maybe we'll do another video on sewing for you, because I know the last one was an absolute banger. All right, so squat was a mixed bag. I think the regular stance suit is a bit better. So I'll take the hips in and probably take the straps in more on that, because it still feels like I'm not really getting much out of it. Top single this week, and I think pretty much every week so far, I've really fucking folded. Just like, you see me hit the bottom, and as I'm going in, I'm just folding, and then my lower body kicks, and I fold more, and then I go bleh, and like unfurl my back, and it feels terrible. So I was pretty annoyed after my top single today. So I think I went like the tiniest little bit wider on my back off triple, and just like really focused on holding my back and not going so deep that I'm losing my back. And that triple was probably some of the best feeling equipped squats I've had since I've been back in the equipment. I also, for my top set and my back off triple, swapped over to the SBD comp wraps, and they feel so much better once they're on and in the squat. But to wrap them, to self-wrap these is hellish. I got Charlie horses in both my quads from trying to like hold my extension while reefing on it, because it just like, it takes a lot to get these things stretched out. They're very thick. But in the actual squat, I think those felt quite a bit better than the training wraps. So yeah, we'll hop into the shirt now. We'll get up to somewhere in the 230-ishes. And probably before long, we'll have to take the shirt in too. So yeah, it's interesting and like annoying to be getting into equipment while losing weight, right? That's not the way I would recommend doing it if you want to have a good time, because everything is gonna like probably feel okay to start with and then start to feel a little bit worse and a little bit worse and a little bit worse week to week, because the equipment's gonna get looser. If you want to have a good time getting into equipment, get equipment when you're like halfway up to a weight class. That's what I did. Most of this equipment is from when I was like most of the way up to 120. It was like 116 to 118. I got my equipment at that body weight and then grew into it as I filled up the 120s, and then it was chef's kiss. But getting it while you're on your way down and then being like, well, once I'm actually 105, I'm probably gonna need more new equipment, and it's just gonna be so much of my life spent sewing over the next little while. Anyways, probably a lot of people just hammering in the comments right now, like, why do you bother, bro? It sounds like such a pain in the ass. Because it is fun. It is fun. It is misery and suffering, but it is fun. Kind of like most of lifting. It's just all of the things amplified, right? What do you got there? Somebody's crock, eh? Anyways, let's do some bench. Dylan's gonna need to get his shoe back from his dog. So. All right, so why equip lifting? Why, go through the pain and pressure and frustration of getting into equipment again, relearning it, etc. And I've talked about this a few times, part of it is I really like getting better at stuff. That's one of the biggest things that I get out of lifting, is that feeling of accomplishment when you can look back and be like, oh man, that 350 just about folded me in half. And now I'm squatting 390. and it looks great, right? Like that's the moment it's the dragon I'm chasing kind of thing. And, I think people might ask, why do it? Why stick with it if it's frustrating? And I mean, to those people, I guess I'd just be like, what, do you just like quit everything or what? Like, I don't know. I think like things can be frustrating and that's fine. It doesn't mean you have to like walk away. It doesn't mean you have to call it quits. It doesn't mean that it's bad or wrong because it's, those are my good reps, man. We can't air this. SBD's gonna cancel me. Fuck, I told you, man. Every set she walks by to check if she can grab some of my shit. What was I saying? Just that frustrating things are good. Go be frustrated by something and don't quit. Go choose something that's intentionally difficult and then do it till you're good at it. That. Hey, like training a dog. I don't know. I just like the things that frustrate you the most, that you have to struggle to actually be good at, that like, you're kind of in the trenches with, that frustrate you and challenge you. Like those are the things to me that are worth pursuing, right? Like I need a challenge. I need something that is going to frustrate me, that I'm going to bounce off of, that I'm going to have to try a million times to get right. But when I get it right, it's going to be fulfilling. It's going to be, really special and feel good and feel like an accomplishment and feel like I did something worthwhile because I overcame that struggle, that frustration, etc. So I don't know.
What happens if it never goes right?
What happens if it never goes right?
Yeah. What if you never get to that point?
I don't know. I guarantee I will. I guarantee you that I will make progress, that I will get better, that I will look back on stuff and be like, oh, I'm glad I got better than that. I don't know. Like, what if I get hit by lightning? What if the earth floods and I get eaten by a shark? Like, I don't know. Die trying, I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't really consider that an option in a lot of ways, right? Like I also don't measure my success as like, oh, I have to hit this certain number, right? Like I have to get back to 400 at 105, that's cool. That's definitely in my head somewhere. But if I don't, and I hit, 390 or 395, am I going to be like, oh, I failed? Absolutely not, right? And I think if you can set yourself up with goals that are maybe a bit flexible, where you can look at, maybe even cherry pick some successes, then I think you're going to be able to find that progress and stack those wins and feel better about training and feel encouraged, and then train better and then get farther and be, it's like it's a positive feedback loop when you get into that space versus like, it's so frustrating. What if I never get better? Spending a lot of time like ruminating on that stuff, I think is just nasty for you, right? Like even my squat today, like I was pissed off, but am I going to fixate on that? No. The thing I'm going to take forward out of today's squat session was that I focused on my upper back and I worked really hard on my upper back being better and tighter on my back off triple. And yeah, it was 50 kilos lighter, 47 and a half kilos lighter, whatever. But my back was locked on all those reps and they felt like the best reps I've done in a squat suit since I started back. So that's what I'm going to choose to focus on from this session is like, okay, what's the good thing I did? How, I'm going to give myself some props for that and be like, oh shit, okay, like this is within my ability, within my capability. I can do this. I can, you know what I mean? Like choosing to latch onto the positive, not even positive, but like helpful stuff, the successes, instead of being like, oh, I really fucked up that single, which like I did. It wasn't great. It wasn't pretty. I'm going to feel it in my back probably for the rest of the week, like I did with that 347 last week. But last week I squatted 2.5 kilos less on my triple and it felt bad. This week I squatted 2.5 more on my triple and it felt really freaking good. So that's what I'm focusing on, right? And my bench, I didn't take the additional 2.5 to 235 or 237, sorry. I took 235 again because my 232 this week was really good and it felt like it was bumping up into that top zone, like at 8 kind of thing. And I was like, I bet you I can take 235 again this week and make it move a little bit better than last week and get it a little bit closer to a touch. And I did. So yeah, I think when it comes to like these ideas of, you know, what is success, or like why continue to push, or why am I, you know, pushing for this thing or whatever, you know, like at this point, and I think this is one of the things that's always kind of been in my favor, is that I'm not trying to be a world champion. You know, that's not my measure of success. And if you are, like, cool, more power to you. But that's a really hard goal to sustain and continue to like set your sights on. And that's just not me, right? I'm not gonna set my like success or failure on some shit that is out of my hands in a lot of ways, right? You can't control how good somebody else gets. You can't control, to some extent, like the calls you get on the day. You can't control a lot of stuff about lifting. What you can control is your own progress and your own path forward. And, you know, I've pretty much only focused on those things that are like very much within my locus of control, like throughout my entire powerlifting career. But I've still, you know, podiumed at Worlds. I've still broken equipped and unequipped world records. You know, I've beaten competitors over and over again at national and above level meets. That stuff just happens if you can, you know, focus on your own success well enough for long enough. And, you know, if you get lucky in the genetic department, right? Like, I won't deny there's some degree of luck, some degree of like, yeah, not everybody's body is built in a way where they could do this or push it to this level. But that's just all the more reason that's like, why the f wouldn't I? Right? Like, I have this ability to like push to these like crazy weights and do this shit that I think is like pretty amazing. And it just like, that feels like it would be such a fucking waste if I didn't, you know? So to me, dedicating myself to that pursuit gives me like a feeling of purpose and a feeling of, what's the word? I don't know. It drives me. It fuels me. You know, it makes me feel, I think in a lot of ways sorry, my voice is shredded from doing check-ins yesterday, but in a lot of ways that pursuit like guides a lot of my life. You know what I mean? Like, it gives me like purpose and structure for a lot of stuff outside of the gym. Going to bed on time, you know, sleeping enough hours, trying to get off my phone early, like sleep hygiene, all these things that in the end and in the long run are making my body healthier and are going to make me like sustain myself into later life. And like, yeah, am I going to have some extra arthritis in my knee and like maybe my shoulder and whatever? Yeah. But also, I know people who sit around for 40 or 50 years and don't do anything at all, and then don't get to like go out and experience life because their bodies are so smashed up from doing nothing. I don't know. I feel like I've said a lot of this stuff a million times, but welcome to my show. All right, do some rows and call it a day.